everyone, and welcome back to the AI Book Review Hub. I'm glad you're here because today we're diving into a relentlessly fast-paced thriller that delivers espionage, political intrigue, and raw action in equal measure. That's right, we're reviewing Dark State by Jack Slater, the explosive first novel in the Jason Trapp thriller series. And as always, I do the hard work looking across the internet, so you don't have to. Dark State wastes no time. From the very first page, America is under siege. Multiple coordinated terrorist attacks devastate the country, and the death toll is staggering. The public calls it Bloody Monday, but the government is scrambling to respond. One of the worst hits? A train massacre that leaves over 300 dead. The question isn't just who's responsible, it's how deep the conspiracy goes. Enter Jason Trapp, former Black Ops assassin codenamed Hangman, officially listed as KIA. 6 months ago, Trapp was betrayed on a mission in Yemen and left for dead. Now he's off the radar, scarred, furious, and not ready to stay buried. When the chaos hits home, he comes out of hiding because this isn't just terror, it's personal. As Trapp digs into the attacks, he finds threads that point toward a broader, more terrifying agenda. Someone high up wants him gone, and the attacks are just the beginning. As the plot barrels forward, Trapp must uncover the truth, face his past, and stop a war before it begins. It's the kind of story that unfolds like a Tom Clancy thriller mixed with the intensity of a Jason Bourne movie. Let's talk about Jason Trapp himself, because he's the engine driving this whole series. Trapp is the definition of a lone wolf. Think Mitch Rapp with a chip on his shoulder or Jack Reacher if he worked in the shadows. He's a man out of options, working without a team, without a government, and without a safety net. His scarred neck gives him the nickname Hangman, and honestly, it fits, because if you're on the wrong side of him, he's probably the last thing you'll see. But what makes Trapp more than just another grizzled operative is his humanity. He's not a machine. He's angry, haunted by guilt, and driven by a deep sense of betrayal. He isn't just fighting terrorists. He's fighting the people who turned their backs on him. That personal edge gives the book weight beyond the bullets. Supporting Trapp is a handful of well-drawn characters. There's newly elected President Charles Nash, caught between political pressure and looming disaster. FBI agent Danny Carter is a grounded, capable presence, a Marine veteran's daughter with a steady hand and her own scars. They represent the institutional response while Trapp takes a much bloodier road. Their contrasting approaches to justice and national security add moral tension that elevates the stakes. The setting spans modern-day America, from city streets and government bunkers to scorched flashbacks in the Middle East. You're constantly moving through tactical zones, high-security offices, rural safe houses, and bombed-out scenes of chaos. It feels real. Slater builds a world just one tick off from ours, familiar enough to chill, detailed enough to believe. He mixes real-world tension with fictional escalation, which makes the story all the more gripping. In terms of genre, Dark State straddles several lines. It's a political thriller, a techno-thriller, and a full-on action novel. The pacing is pure adrenaline, short, punchy chapters, and constant forward motion. Slater doesn't waste time on exposition. If it doesn't move the story or deepen the thread, it's cut. That makes for a read you can devour in just a couple of sittings. And while the action is relentless, it's never mindless. The plot is laced with modern fears, cyber warfare, espionage, political manipulation, and terrorism. Trapp's mission isn't just personal revenge, it's national survival. There's a sharp edge of realism here. Fans of authors like Vince Flynn, Brad Thor, and Mark Graney will feel right at home. The villains, too, are worthy of note. Ruthless, ideologically driven, and frighteningly competent. Without spoiling anything, let's just say the enemies Trapp faces are more than one-dimensional targets. There's a layered narrative involving both foreign and domestic threats, echoing the complex geopolitics of our real world. Slater doesn't shy away from hinting that danger often wears a familiar face. Now, what about readability? It's high. Slater writes in clean, clear prose, no unnecessary fluff, just lean storytelling and kinetic energy. The dialogue is snappy, the description's visual, and the action sequence is cinematic. You can tell Slater has a screenwriter's eye. Many scenes play out like moments from a blockbuster, It's built for people who want their stories fast, intense, and accessible. Let's shift gears and talk about Jack Slater himself. Slater is an Australian author who came to writing thrillers after a career in publishing and traveling the world. His debut with Dark State in 2019 introduced Jason Trapp to the world, and it wasn't long before the series exploded in popularity. Slater cites influences like Tom Clancy and Robert Ludlum, and you can see it in his work. But he brings a more modern, stripped-down style that leans into pace and plausibility. He's since followed Dark State with a long-running series. Titles like False Flag, Flashpoint, Depth Charge, The Apparatus, and Black Eagle continue Trapp's saga, and he's also written in the Gideon Riker and Blake Larson series. Readers who love Dark State will have no shortage of Slater books to tear through. And trust me, they're addictive. Let's talk audiobooks. Yes, Dark State has one, and it's a solid adaptation. Narrated by Mark Garkusha, the unabridged audiobook runs around 11.5 hours. Garkusha's performance is excellent. He nails Trapp's grit and brings distinct energy to each character. Listeners describe it as immersive and high quality, with strong pacing and clarity. Garkusha has a background in voice acting and stage work, and his delivery brings the story alive without overacting. If you prefer to listen while commuting, this one won't disappoint. There's also a graphic audio edition of the Jason Trapp books, a full-cast, sound effects-heavy version that plays like a radio drama. It's intense, cinematic, and a bit different from the traditional audiobook. Worth checking out if you like your thrillers with a full surround sound experience. One fun fact: Dark State was originally titled Deep State when first released, but was retitled and rebranded during its rise in popularity. It now regularly hits the top of Kindle charts in categories like political and terrorism thrillers, and has built a dedicated fan base. So what's the verdict? Dark State is an electrifying start to a modern action thriller series. It's lean, mean, and loaded with firepower. If you want a hero who walks the line between patriot and outlaw, who punches harder because he's got nothing left to lose and who unravels conspiracies while leaving scorched earth behind, this is your guy. It doesn't waste time. It hits hard. And it leaves you wanting more. Thanks for joining us on the AI Book Review Hub. If you enjoyed this review, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and drop your favorite action thriller recommendations in the comments below. We've got a lot more stories to explore together. And remember, I do the hard work looking across the internet so you don't have to.